Hello guys, welcome to the stream here. I will be going over change of character, which is something to look for in regards to structure momentum shift. Uh, what I do look for in regards to this change of character, I love to play breakouts. I'm a huge breakout trader, retest trader, flag trader, anything with breakouts, I'm in there. But what I've realized that one of the things characteristics to look for in regards to these breakouts is that change of momentum. That's how that plays out. The market moves in two ways, which is that corrective, which is, for instance, here. It's a correction followed by that impulsive move. So it'll be that corrective, that impulsive corrective, impulsive corrective, impulsive. Here we have this bear structure, which you can recognize by a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and a lower low, which is this. Then we have that bullish structure, which is a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and a higher low, and a higher high, which is this. So where this change of character comes into place, it's the momentum shift here. This is where that change of character happens. In this area, which happens to be in this area, vice versa, to the downside, in this area. So now that we have our structure types that we would be looking at here, let me pull up. I apologize. My little diagrams here. All right, so like you see here, you have that higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and lower high here, which is that bearish structure. This is a 3-minute chart, bearish structure. And when you get that change of character, it's when it, so here for this downtrend to continue, I want to see lower high, a lower low, lower high, a lower low. But what does it fail to do? It fails to make this lower low, and it actually creates this higher low. So that's the first indication of change of character. That first move of, hey, this is not going the way that it's supposed to. Not supposed to, but generally does go to. So now that we have that here, we have a higher low here. You need 2 points. I like to say that you have to reject one and you have to break one. So here we're rejecting to make a lower low, and we're breaking this lower high, the most recent lower high. And for that, that would be that confirmation of change of that momentum shift, which happens right by trendline breakouts. And breakouts, something that I like to look for trendline breakouts is those 3 touches, because you do need those 3 touches to be able to fully break out and confirm that trend line. Here you do see that. You have this supply here, supply. You have this demand here as well. And you can see where this bounces on. Bounces here. Let me add here, I apologize. Okay, sorry about that. So here we have this is if you do decide to use demand and supply zones. This is just a confluence that you could use. But essentially, from these points, that's where these zones come from. You know, it's respecting that zone, that liquidity here. So as it's gaining this liquidity here, it's pushing to the upside. So on that upper structure, you're chasing, not chasing, but you're looking for those supply zones. So you're looking for this supply zone here. You're looking for this supply zone here. That's where the liquidity is going for. On the downtrend, it's the same thing. If you were to have price action on this end, you would be chasing those demands. But here, you can obviously see here, like for instance here, you're chasing these demands on this bear structure, demand. That's where you're looking to go. And so now here you have those three touches in confluence with the structure change, with the breakout. This is a breakout right here happening. This is that retest of the breakout. So when breakouts tend to happen, what tend to happen is that confirmation touch, that retouch to be able to confirm like, hey, this is a good breakout. You want to see good volume and all that other good stuff, but here is just fully structured. So once it does break this, you're looking, you have the three touches, you have the breakout, you have the higher low. So this is a good momentum shift, a good way to tell like, hey, this is about to shift momentum. And this is that change of character happening here in this area, from that bullish, from that bearish structure to the bullish structure here. So now that you have this momentum shift, you have another pattern that you can play, which is that rising wedge. Rising wedge, right? What does a rising wedge look like? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and a higher high here. And for this bullish momentum to continue, what you are looking for is for this to continue. For that to continue. But what does it fail to do? It fails to create a higher high, and it fails to hold a higher low. So like I said, it's rejecting one and it's breaking one. Like that's something that I like to look for. It rejects a higher high and it breaks the higher low. So once you have that, this is that momentum shift here happening. So that change of character is happening right around here, which is in confluence with, hey, a breakout, right? You have your three touches. You're looking for a possible break because you know you have the three touches. Once you have those three touches, hey, it could possibly break. You have that rising wedge pattern. You have those higher highs failing here. And this most recent higher low breaking here. And what you notice here is that you get that confirmation when you're breaking the most recent one. So you're breaking the most recent lower high here. It's creating a higher high here. You're breaking the most recent higher low here. It's creating that most recent lower low here. So now that you have that break, this is that momentum shift that I was speaking with earlier and about. So here you have that downtrend break, the three touches. You have that corrective move, looking to make that impulsive move to the corrective move. So here again, we have this break to the downside. We have that lower high continued by that lower low. Here, this pattern is a tad different than these two. I like to call this the funneling structure, which is basically just congestion. Here you have this lower high, and here you also have this lower low. You can even go by here, but this is like where that pattern is beginning here. But this structure, it is this symmetrical triangle. And what does a symmetrical triangle look like? It's this here. You have a lower low, a lower high, a higher low, a lower high, followed by a higher low. So as long as it's not breaking this point and this point here, this area is still considered congestion. So even here, let's say this breakout touches up here, it can still bounce back and congest here. But what you're seeing here happening is it's breaking the most recent structure here. So this lower high and this higher low here are these 2 points where it's like, hey, this is where it's going to decide what it's going to do. You have the 3 touches, 1, 2, 3. You also have the 3 touches down here. And because this is a symmetrical triangle, this can go either way. But as earlier in the session, I was saying that you can use confluence for this. You can see exactly where this was bouncing on, that demand zone. And you have all these supply zones up here with liquidity waiting, you know. So here you have it bouncing and holding this demand zone, which is just giving you an indication of, hey, it's this area is strong. They're holding this here. So now that you have these 3 touches, you see here it breaks the most recent lower high, and as it's breaking these areas, it's gaining this liquidity here. So it's just gaining that momentum. So here you have that pattern break, which is a breakout. You have that retest here in this hammer here, this doji. So as it's pushing up, it's gaining the momentum. So this is here is that change of structure here. On a lower time frame, you would be able to see this on a much quicker scale. With this doji here, you'll be able to see it on a much quicker scale here. But this is still a 3-minute. So now that it's bouncing up here, not bouncing, but it broke this structure here. It created that higher high here, most recent higher low here, with this happening again here. Another higher low, higher low, higher high. Oh, look at that again. A higher low here, and a higher high here. Oops, sorry. So now that we have this understanding of that change of character, you can put that 2 and 2 together with patterns, having the 3 touches, breaking out, getting that momentum shift around this area, which is that change of character. And once you put that 2 and 2 together, you're able to trade the system. This is tradable. EMAs, MACDs, RSIs, all that other good stuff, they're just noise in this. They're just indicating what this is doing. So as the MACD is pushing up, you know, it's the momentum is pushing up. It's creating that higher high. Same thing, vice versa. So just those things that is happening, they're just noise to this. If this is able to be read, you're able to know what's going on in the market.